sister and I saved the Alpha and Blackwood pack. He offered us a reward, $30 million or marrying his only son. His son was a mystery. He had never appeared in public, and rumors said he was hideously ugly and impotent. My sister begged me to marry him, but she didn't know that the Alpha heir was actually the hottest guy on campus, the captain of the hockey team. After we got married, he was always thoughtful and caring. He showered me with expensive jewelry and all kinds of luxury gifts. Meanwhile, my sister gambled away her $30 million at casinos. When she couldn't pay off her debts, her creditors slashed her face with a silver blade. She blamed it on me. Then she pushed me off a rooftop, but she lost her balance and fell with me. When I opened my eyes again, we were both back on the day we saved the Alpha. This time, my sister jumped in before I could speak and chose the Alpha heir. I smiled. $30 million was way better than spending the rest of my life with a psychopath.
Alpha, I choose to marry your son!
Chloe blurted out before anyone else could speak. She was trembling with excitement. Her eyes shined with greed and anticipation. I pressed my lips together. It seemed Chloe had recovered her memories as well. Victor Blackwood didn't answer immediately. Instead, he turned to me. He carried a warm, fatherly smile.
Sylvia, you're the elder sister. You choose first.
Just as I expected. To him, I was a quiet, obedient Omega, easy to control. Chloe, on the other hand, was outgoing, impulsive, hardly the ideal choice for his son. Chloe grabbed my wrist. Her nails dug into my skin as she shot me a warning look.
Sylvia, you've heard the rumors too, haven't you? His son is ugly and they say he's impotent. I don't want to see you trapped in an unhappy marriage for the rest of your life. Let me be his mate instead.
I was ecstatic about her words, but I forced a worried expression.
Are you sure? What if you regret it someday? Absolutely not! I know I haven't always been the best sister to you, but that'll change. I'll put in a good word for you with Mom and Dad, and things will be different between us.
I smiled meaningfully.
All right, Chloe, just remember what you said today.
Then I turned to Victor Blackwood.
Alpha, I'll take the $30 million.
A flash of disappointment crossed his eyes. Chloe could barely hide her excitement. Her whole body trembled with joy. She was probably already imagining her future as the next Luna, an Alpha who would belong only to her, along with status, wealth, and endless luxury. She hurried to Victor's side, acting so sweet and obedient that she seemed like a completely different person.
Alpha, don't worry. I've never been with anyone before. I'm saving myself for my future husband. And I'll do everything I can to help Adrian manage the Blackwood pack. If I ever make mistakes, please tell me. I'll work hard to improve.
After listening to her flattering speech, Victor finally smiled.
Good.
Victor nodded.
I'm sure Adrian will be pleased to hear that.
He paused for a moment.
But there's one rule in the Blackwood pact that you must never forget. Once my son marks you, this chosen bond can never be broken. No rejection. The bond lasts until death.
Chloe's smile only grew wider. To her, it sounded like a promise of status and wealth. She nodded eagerly.
Of course! I'll never leave him!
I lowered my gaze, a mocking smile tugging at my lips. Victor made the rule sound romantic, but I knew what he really meant. Adrian had never found his true mate. What Victor wanted wasn't a fated Luna. He wanted a chosen Luna, one who couldn't run away, one he could keep under control. In my last life, Victor had never bothered explaining this rule to me. He knew he didn't need to. I cared too much about my family. Just threatening my parents was enough to make me give in. As for Chloe, she didn't need threats. Money and power were all it took. Greedy, selfish Chloe and the monster Adrian were a match made in heaven. The moment Chloe got home, she couldn't wait to share her big news.
Dad! Mom! I'm marrying Adrian, Blackwood Pack's Alpha heir. I'm going to be the future Luna!
Martin practically jumped off the couch.
Chloe, are you serious? You're not joking, are you?
Elena pointed at the news report playing on the television, a story about the Blackwood Consortium donating $130 million to Silverport University.
The Blackwoods? You mean those Blackwoods?
Who else would I be talking about? Adrian is the most popular guy at our university. You saw him at my graduation, remember? He's handsome, kind, and he is also the captain of the hockey team. Girls are obsessed with him. I never imagined he was the Alpha heir all along. The Alpha already set a date. The marking ceremony will be held on the next full moon. You're looking at the future Luna of the Blackwood Pack.
Elena's eyes instantly turned red with excitement. Martin rushed into the kitchen to pour drinks, bustling around like a servant attending royalty, while Elena massaged Chloe's shoulders. She swallowed nervously.
$130 million. They must be unbelievably rich.
They're insanely rich. The Black Hoods aren't just the strongest pack on the West Coast. They own companies in all kinds of industries. Semiconductors, luxury brands, biotech. They make money from everything. And they have a rule. Once you're bonded for life.
I sat quietly watching Chloe beam. I could practically feel how happy she was. The Blackwoods were rich, but everything came with a price. Chloe didn't know the Blackwood Consortium's $130 million donation wasn't an act of generosity. It was hush money. Adrian had played a part in a young Omega girl's death. Victor had spent a fortune to bury the scandal and make sure everyone involved stayed silent. And the marking ceremony scheduled for 2 weeks later wasn't because of some auspicious full moon. A grand ceremony made it easier to hide ugly truths. Elena quickly realized something.
If Chloe is marrying the alpha hair, then what did Sylvia get?
Just $30 million.
Martin and Elena's eyes immediately lit up. They exchanged excited looks.
Sylvia, that's a lot of money for an Omega. Why don't you put it in the family account? You can always use it whenever you need.
I almost laughed. Despite our different choices, they still favored Chloe. In my last life, Chloe had taken the $30 million. Or parents told her to spend the money however she wanted, dress herself up, and find a better mate. Then they came to me for money. Their excuses never changed. Chloe was younger. Yes, by exactly 1 minute. She was sweeter, more charming. She is their favorite growing up. Her allowance was always twice mine. I was even expected to spend my own money buying things for her. No matter how much I achieved, they only showed up for Chloe. And whenever we argued, they never bothered asking what happened. The answer was always the same. I was the older sister. Yes, I was. I was older than Chloe by exactly 1 minute.
Dad, Mom, I can't put that money in the family account because that money was meant for me only. I don't think the Alpha would be happy if he found out I shared it with someone else. And when Chloe marries into the Blackwood Pack, people will think less of her for it.
That immediately got their attention. Martin and Elena exchanged uneasy looks. Even Chloe froze for a second.
Forget it. It's only $30 million.
She lifted her chin.
Mom, Dad, let her keep it. Once Adrian and I are bonded, $30 million will be nothing to us.
Then her gaze shifted to me. A cold glint flashed across her eyes.
But you have to promise me something.
I raised an eyebrow.
What is it? Stay away from Adrian.
She crossed her arms.
And you're not living here anymore.
So she was worried Adrian might fall for the quiet, obedient Omega. I almost laughed. That sounded perfect to me.
Sure,
I smiled.
I'll pack my things right now. I won't come back unless I have to.
My smile widened.
And while we're at it, congratulations in advance. I hope you and Adrian have a wonderful marriage and lots of pups.
Chloe looked pleased with my response.
Good. Sylvia, be good like this, and I might let you meet Adrian's friends.
I didn't bother replying. I knew his friends better than she did. Not a single one of them was good. 10 minutes later, I had everything packed into one suitcase. A few changes of clothes, my laptop, and a bank card with $30 million. I dragged my suitcase out the front door without looking back. The second I got into my Uber, I burst out laughing. From now on, no more jealous little sister trying to ruin my life. No sadistic alpha heir, and no parents who always put Chloe first. I'd never been this happy in my life. Even the sky over Silverport looked bluer than usual, with $30 million in my account. The first thing I did was buy a fully furnished apartment downtown. Pack warriors guarded it 24/7, and the whole building was under tight security. For the first time in my life, no one could walk into my room and touch my things without my permission. Over the next few months, I focused on building my future. Mostly that meant investing. I'd always been interested in the stock market. In my last life, I would invest small portions of my allowance. I lost more often than not, but I learned which stocks would eventually rise. I also registered my own media company. By the time I finished choosing a site for my company, I received Chloe and Adrian's wedding invitations. The invitation itself looked like a work of art, matte black handmade paper with gold embossed moon patterns along the edges. Chloe video called me.
Did you get the invitation?
I smiled and held it up to the camera.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Her eyes lit up with pride.
Of course. I had them custom made at one of the best ateliers in New York. Each one cost over $10,000.
I deliberately looked impressed.
Wow, that's a lot.
She smiled even more smugly.
Not really, just a few $1,000,000. It's nothing for the Blackwoods. Did you see the card inside? Adrian wrote every name himself. Not only is he handsome, he's also very good at calligraphy.
She leaned closer to the camera, grinning.
So, sis?
Do you regret not choosing Adrian back then? I ran my fingers over the silver lettering on the invitation, my smile deepening.
Why would I? I'm glad you're happy.
She let out a light scoff.
You really are hopeless. I used to walk all over you, and I still do. Guess you're just meant to stay beneath me in both lifetimes.
I pretended not to understand her. After a few more smug remarks, she finally ended the call, satisfied. My gaze lingered on the name written in ancient pack script. I knew that handwriting too well. Adrian had an attractive face and beautiful, long-fingered hands, and those same hands, when used for cruelty, were just as unforgettable. In my past life, he was obsessed with practicing ancient pack calligraphy. He would force me onto the cold floor of his study, naked, and he traced characters across my skin with a pen dipped in silver ink. Each mark burned into my flesh like fire. The pain lingered for hours before it finally faded. He called it taming an omega. Just a few fragments of that memory were enough to leave me drenched in cold sweat. Adrian was my nightmare. If I didn't face him, he would haunt me for the rest of my life. I took a deep breath and shifted my gaze to the computer screen. My stock account was all green. 3 million had turned into over 30 million. Altogether, it was a pretty large sum. I wouldn't have dared to imagine this before, but I'd done it, so why stop here? Why not go further and beat the Blackwoods? The Blackwood Pack's marking ceremony was said to have cost $300 million. Chloe's crown came from an ancient European Pax Luna. Her wedding gown was pure white silk, embroidered with silver wolf patterns. Adrian was dressed in a custom-tailored Italian suit. He carried such an overwhelming aura that most of the guests instinctively lowered their heads. It really was a perfect match, especially the moment he knelt on one knee, baring his neck as he swore his vow to Chloe.
Chloe, I'll protect you for the rest of my life. You won't regret marrying me.
Chloe was so moved, she was in tears, nodding hard.
I believe you.
Thunderous applause erupted from the crowd, and a few guests were moved to tears. Only Adrian's so-called friends wore amused, mocking expressions. They were just like him, always running wild together. As long as they didn't harm the family's interests or challenge the alpha heir, their parents let them do whatever they wanted. It was just allowance money to them. After the ceremony, I met Adrian for the first time in this life. I stood in a corner with a glass of champagne, keeping my head lowered, but he still noticed me. He walked over with a glass of whiskey.
You must be Chloe's sister. You weren't around when I visited her family before, so this is our first meeting, right?
He leaned in slightly as if trying to catch my scent.
I heard you're busy. Too busy to even attend family dinners?
I had no choice but to look up at him. Those gray blue eyes met mine, smiling, but cold. His brows lifted slightly as if he had found something interesting. My hands clenched tightly. My nails dug into my palms. The pain helped me fight against the fear inside. His alpha aura pressed down on me. Not strong, but enough to make an omega's legs go weak. I forced out a stiff smile.
Yeah. I've been busy with work.
Adrian licked his lips, amused.
Oh? What kind of work? Maybe I can help.
His voice was low and dangerous, like the start of a hunt. An alpha heir's help. Any other omega would have been flattered, but all it did was send a chill down my spine. My instincts screamed one word: run. Just then, Chloe stepped forward from the crowd, placing herself between us. I understood immediately. She was marking her territory.
Adrian, the pack leaders are still waiting for us.
Only then did Adrian let me go. His gaze lingered on me for a second longer. A meaningful smile curved his lips before he followed Chloe to other guests. I didn't dare stay any longer. I grabbed my bag and left. The day after the wedding, my parents invited Chloe and Adrian to a family dinner. I thought Chloe wouldn't want me back because she didn't want me see Adrian again. But Elena called instead, her voice unusually urgent. That could only mean one thing: Adrian had stood her up. Then I said yes. The moment I changed into indoor slippers and stepped inside, I met Chloe's exhausted face. The bride who had been glowing just yesterday now looked drained. Dark circles sat under her eyes, and her bright eyes were bloodshot. There were bruises around her marking bite, far more violent than a normal bond mark. Her collar was pulled high, but I could still make out faint finger marks along her collarbone. I understood immediately. So Adrian had already gone too far last night. In my past life, it had at least taken him a month before he started abusing me. But then, I noticed the brand new Cartier bracelet on her wrist, and everything clicked. Adrian was generous when he wanted to be. He spent money freely on the women around him, but only on his terms. To him, Chloe was just a toy he could play with whenever he wanted, so it didn't matter that it was marking night. I deliberately widened my eyes in surprise.
Chloe? What happened to you?
Then I smiled, as if realizing something.
Oh right, it was your marking night. No wonder you're a bit tired.
Chloe said nothing. She just stared at me closely, studying my face as if trying to decide whether I was faking it. There was something strange in her eyes, like she was weighing whether she should say something to me.
What is it? Why are you looking at me like that?
Her voice was hoarse, probably from crying and begging all night. But Adrian was a psychopath. The more she cried, the more excited he got. The alpha heir's instincts had been twisted into a sadistic urge, and Omega's tears and fear were the best kind of aphrodisiac to him. After hesitating for a moment, she finally gave up.
Sylvia, never mind.
Elena had cooked a full table of dishes, all Chloe's favorites. But Chloe only drank a few spoonfuls of cream soup. Even swallowing seemed difficult.
Chloe, are you not feeling well?
Martin asked. Chloe forced a smile.
I had too much champagne yesterday. My throat's a bit sore.
Elena quickly served her another bowl of soup, while Martin washed blueberries and strawberries for her. Chloe managed to eat a little more. I kept my head down as I ate, but my lips couldn't stop curling up. Last night, Adrian had been testing her obedience. He probably made her do plenty of humiliating things. He might make her kneel in the most submissive position, expose her marking bite in front of his alpha friends. But that was only the beginning. It would only get worse from here. I had lived through those nightmares in my past life, being tied up and shared among his so-called friends, being hunted in wolf form on full moon nights for their amusement. But that still wasn't the worst of it. The worst was the basement, a soundproof room on the 3rd underground level. I didn't want to think about what was inside. Devices specifically designed to torture Omegas. Some ordered from the black market, others designed by Adrian himself.
Chloe, is Adrian very busy? Why didn't he come back with you?
Martin asked. The spoon in Chloe's hand trembled slightly.
Yeah, he's busy with pack business.
It's only the 2nd day. He should at least come back for a dinner. How long could that take?
Elena shot him a look.
He's the alpha heir of the Blackwood Pack. Of course he's busy. Do you think he's like you, a useless beta? Don't mind your father. As long as you're good with Adrian, that's all that matters.
Chloe gave a vague response, clearly unwilling to talk about Adrian, and shifted the topic to me instead.
Sylvia, what have you been doing these days?
I took a sip of red wine before answering.
Nothing, just traveling around, went to Napa Valley for wine, then spent some time in Santa Monica.
Chloe scoffed and raised her crocodile Birkin bag to show off.
I like shopping too, but we are different. They clear the place for me every time. The entire rodeo drave knows me. Things that other people can't even get, I can buy as much as I want. The other day I spent over $6 million in just 2 hours.
My goodness. Won't Adrian get angry if you spend that much?
Chloe sneered.
That little money? He doesn't care. He gave me an unlimited black card. I can spend whatever I want.
I listened quietly, smiling just enough to look impressed. With Martin and Elena constantly praising her, she seemed to regain her confidence in this life with Adrian. Yes, she was being abused, but she had money. And if she could live a life everyone envied, that was enough for her.
Dad, Mom, I'll take you to South Coast Plaza this afternoon. Buy whatever you like.
Oh, Chloe, that's really sweet of you.
That was clearly aimed at me. I smiled lightly.
I'm not Chloe. She has the Blackwood family behind her and money that could last several lifetimes. I only had 30 million. And I bought a house and invested in a company. Sorry, Mom. There isn't much left. I have to be careful with it.
Chloe, pleased by the flattery.
That's right. You'll just be living off that little money for the rest of your life. Dad, Mom, buy whatever you want. Dad wanted a new car, right? Porsche or Maserati, your choice. And Mom, you've wanted that Van Cleef necklace for a long time, haven't you? I'll get it for you.
Martin and Elena immediately lit up, already excitedly discussing what to buy. Chloe lifted her chin like a proud peacock and looked at me.
Sylvia, you're jealous of me, aren't you?
I smiled meaningfully.
Who wouldn't be? Every girl out there wishes she could be you, the future Luna of the Blackwood Pack.
Chloe said arrogantly.
Let any woman try to take my alpha. I'll kill her. No one takes my place unless I'm dead.
I curved my lips slightly. Then, good luck, Chloe. I saw Chloe's shopping spree with Martin and Elena on social media. A Porsche Cayenne, a Patek Philippe, a diamond-studded bracelet, 3 Hermes bags. At least $10 million were gone in a single afternoon. Chloe was going to pay for it tonight. Adrian's control over money was obsessive. In my past life, I had once spent just $20 on painkillers, and he locked me in the basement as punishment for an hour. And Chloe had burned through nearly $10 million in a day. I couldn't imagine what would happen to her. After enjoying Chloe's show, I got back to work. My media company began recruiting streamers and building content pipelines. In this era, Omega voices were rare. What I wanted to build was a platform where they could actually be heard. Once the company stabilized, I enrolled in a management course at Silverport Business School. From a complete beginner, I started learning how real management worked. Along the way, I met businessmen from other packs and spent my free time discussing operations over coffee. Running a business wasn't easy. In the first month, I lost over $3 million. Fortunately, by the second month, I broke even and turned a small profit. At least things were finally on track. I hadn't spoken to my family in a long time. Until that day, I was at a routine networking event for a mid-tier pack circle, playing golf at the Silverport Country Club. Just as I swung my club, I caught sight of Adrian. I lowered my cap slightly and saw him walk into the private course area with Chloe and a group of male alphas. Chloe wore a short dress, her makeup perfect like a carefully wrapped gift, but her posture was stiff. Anyone could tell she wasn't doing well. A few middle-aged beta men nearby let out low, vulgar laughs.
Looks like the Blackwood heir brought his Omega out to entertain the boys again. Last time I passed by their VIP room, damn, that was something. Yeah, a properly marked chosen mate, shared among the pack. She's worse off than an unmarked Omega. That's what you get with top-tier alphas. They play rough.
I watched them disappear into another part of the course. In my past life, Adrian had tortured me in countless ways, but he never let his pack members touch me. This time, he didn't even see Chloe as a person anymore. Maybe she had spent so much of his money, he was bound to retaliate, and after being punished, Chloe would spend even more to soothe herself, only to trigger his punishment again. A vicious cycle. It was only a matter of time before it killed her. Still, Chloe was Chloe. She managed to get pregnant. The Blackwood Pack valued heirs above all else. Their alpha bloodline was extremely rare. Each generation had only one direct successor. Victor had only Adrian. If Chloe gave birth to an alpha pup, her position would be temporarily secured. A few weeks later, her social media started updating again. Her face looked a little brighter. Her posts were still full of luxury. And occasionally Adrian appeared, his hand resting on her shoulder, his expression soft and indulgent. A month later, Chloe called me to boast.
Sylvia, the doctor confirmed it. It's a boy.
Her voice was overflowing with pride.
He'll inherit the Blackwood Empire. I won't just be Luna. I'll be the mother of the Alpha. Congratulations. Is the baby healthy? Of course. The doctor mentioned something about an XY chromosome pattern. I didn't really catch it, but it just means he'll be stronger than average. That's my son.
I almost laughed out loud. She really hadn't been paying attention.
I've heard of that condition. It can sometimes come with aggressive tendencies.
Chloe immediately snapped.
Don't you dare curse my son! You're just jealous because you can't have Adrian's child, while I can!
I moved the phone slightly away from my ear.
You're going to end up alone for the rest of your life! Don't expect a single cent from me in the future!
She hung up. I shrugged and went back to my financial report. CY syndrome in humans often shows increased impulsivity and aggression, but in werewolves, especially those with alpha bloodlines, the trait is amplified many times over. In simple terms, this child would likely inherit Adrian's violent tendencies, possibly even worse, and Chloe, as a marked chosen Omega, would one day face the double suppression of two violent alphas. In my past life, there had been no child because I was the one who got pregnant, and I never got to keep mine. This time, fate had given Chloe a gift. Over the next few months, I poured all my energy into my company and investments. The media company finally started turning a profit. I signed over a dozen Omega streamers. They made contents about lifestyle, legal education, and mental health. One creator focused on Omega rights gained over 500,000 followers in just 3 months. Her comment section was filled with Omegas sharing their experiences of being oppressed under pack laws. I never appeared publicly. Everything was handled by my team. The name Sylvia Hart did not need to appear anywhere. On the stock market side, I remembered a major swing from my past life. A small biotech company called Helix Biotech was about to receive FDA approval for a new suppressant targeting Omega heat cycles. Once the news broke, its stock price surged 80-fold. I bought heavily at the bottom. At the same time, investigative reports from a private firm continued to land on my desk. Blackwood Consortium's financial records over the past 5 years showed more than $20 million flowing into untraceable offshore accounts, shell companies, fake charities, cross-border laundering. Every trail pointed to systematic tax evasion. That was only the beginning. The deeper problem lay elsewhere. The Blackwood family owned a so-called private recovery facility on the East Coast. Officially, it was a high-end Omega rehabilitation center. In reality, it was a detention site where Omegas were abused. In my past life, I had once overheard Adrian and Victor discussing it. I had been so terrified I couldn't stop shaking. This time, I would turn it into their grave. But not yet. I needed more money, more leverage. Chloe gave birth to a baby boy weighing 7 pounds and 8 ounces. The Blackwood Pack held a grand naming ceremony. Blackstone Hills was covered in black and gold banners. Victor presided over the ceremony. The child was named Damien Blackwood. The Pack elders also held a succession ceremony for Adrian. He officially became the alpha of the Blackwood Pack. The internet was filled with congratulations. But I noticed one detail. All the photos from the ceremony showed Chloe sitting down. Not a single image showed her standing. Postpartum weakness. Or something else. I didn't dig further. It wasn't something I needed to focus on right now. After the child was born, Chloe's social media's update became irregular. Sometimes she posted 5 or 6 updates a day, photos of the baby, luxury items, everything carefully staged. Other times, she went silent for weeks. During those silent periods, I knew what was happening. I had lived through the same silence in my past life. I didn't want to remember it. 6 months later, my company's valuation crossed $100 million. Helix Biotech's stock surged exactly as expected. I sold 2/3 of my position at the peak and made over $400 million in profit. Combined with income from my media company and other investments, my total assets were approaching $600 million. No one knew who was behind Silverport's rising investment firm. I had buried my identity under 3 layers of offshore structures and 2 trust funds. In the business circles of the city, people only knew there was a mysterious private investor with an uncanny track record, someone who never missed. Some speculated it was a retired alpha from an old pack. No one suspected it was a 24-year-old Omega. During this time, Elena called me 3 times, each time subtly probing, asking if that money was still there, whether I had made any investments, or whether I wanted my father to take a look at things. The 3rd time, I didn't pick up. Martin sent a message.
Sylvia, your sister doesn't seem very happy lately. Have you heard from her? We've tried calling, but she won't answer. She isn't replying on social media either.
I replied with 3 words. I don't know. They weren't unaware that something might have gone wrong with Chloe. They just didn't want to face the possibility of losing their Blackwood connection, or the wealth they were enjoying now. The turning point came on Damien's first birthday. The Blackwood family threw another lavish party. This time, I received an invitation. As a member of the Luna's family, it was probably Chloe's idea or maybe Adrian's. He had always liked maintaining the image of a perfect family in public. So I went. I wore a simple navy blue dress, no jewelry, no designer handbag. I stayed quietly in a corner of the guest area, blending into the background. As the party went on, I discreetly took note of every detail. The layout of the estate, the locations of the security cameras, every entrance and exit. I had spent 3 years trapped here in my previous life. I knew this estate like the back of my hand. Still, I needed to make sure nothing had changed. Halfway through the party, Chloe appeared carrying Damien. She had lost a frightening amount of weight. Her collarbones stood out sharply, and her wrists looked delicate enough to snap. Yet her makeup was flawless, her smile perfectly composed, exactly how a Luna was supposed to look. Damien sat quietly in her arms, neither crying nor fussing. His gray-blue eyes, identical to Adrian's, swept coldly across the crowd. A 1-year-old child shouldn't have eyes like that. After the party, I ran into Chloe in the hallway. The moment she saw me, her expression froze for a split second.
Sylvia.
Her voice was much softer than I remembered.
Long time no see, I said with a smile. You don't look very well. Want to grab a coffee sometime?
Something flickered in her eyes. Her lips parted slightly.
Chloe.
Adrian's voice came from behind us. It wasn't loud, but every syllable cut through the air like ice. I felt his alpha aura spread outward. Not unleashed in full force, just a subtle push, but it was enough. Chloe's shoulders immediately tensed as if someone had flipped a switch.
Adrian.
She turned around, her practiced smile instantly returning, and obediently moved to his side. His gaze settled on me. Those gray-blue eyes were calm and detached, as though he were evaluating something completely insignificant.
Sylvia, thank you for coming to Damien's birthday.
Of course, he's my nephew after all.
The corner of his mouth lifted slightly. I knew that smile. In my previous life, I had seen it countless times. It looked warm and courteous, but underneath, he was measuring whether you posed a threat. The conclusion was probably obvious. Known. What threat could a lonely, ordinary Omega sister possibly be? He slipped an arm around Chloe and led her away. I remained in the hallway, watching them disappear around the corner. His hand rested on the back of Chloe's neck, right over the mark. It looked affectionate. In reality, it was a silent reminder. Don't forget who you belong to. Damien was 2 years old when Chloe tried to run away for the first time. At 3 in the morning, Elena called me in a panic.
Sylvia, Chloe came home. You need to get here now. She's covered in blood.
I drove to the Hart house as fast as I could. Chloe was curled up on the living room sofa. Dark bloodstains covered her pajamas. Her right eye was swollen shut, and dried blood marked the corner of her mouth. But the most horrifying sight was her neck. Around her mating mark were fresh, ragged bite wounds. Not the bite that formed the bond. These were wounds inflicted out of pure violence. She had been trying to fight the bond with her own body. It was impossible. Once a chosen bond was formed, it couldn't be broken by any physical means. The harder she resisted, the more pain the mark inflicted in return. That was the bond's punishment. Elena stood nearby, pale and helpless. Martin's lips trembled, but no words came out. I crouched down in front of Chloe.
He hit you. He's a monster. He's insane. He made those people. He made his friend.
She couldn't continue. A violent wave of nausea hit her. She couldn't go on. A moment later, she bent over and gagged. I knew exactly what she was trying to say. The rumors I'd overheard at the country club had been true. Elena rushed forward and wrapped her arms around Chloe.
My baby! How could this happen? I thought he treated you well. I'm leaving him! I'm rejecting him! I don't want this bond anymore. I'd rather die!
You can't reject him. My voice was quiet. A chosen bond can't be rejected. Victor said it himself before the ceremony. Until death.
Something shattered inside her gaze. Then the doorbell rang. Everyone froze. I walked to the front door and looked through the peephole. 2 men in black suits stood outside. They were broad-shouldered and imposing, clearly high-ranking pack warriors from the Blackwood Pack.
Luna, Alpha Adrian has sent us to bring you home.
A desperate sob escaped Chloe's throat behind me. Martin finally found his voice.
You can't do that. She's my daughter.
The warrior looked at him. Just that one glance carried enough pressure to make the wolf inside me instinctively bristle, even though it wasn't directed at me. Martin stumbled back 2 steps, his face pale.
Alpha Adrian said the Luna isn't feeling well and needs to rest. A private doctor is already waiting for her at home.
There was no room for negotiation in his voice. Chloe was taken away. As they led her outside, she turned back to look at us. Her lips moved as though she wanted to say something. But in the end, no words came out. The black Escalade disappeared around the corner. The living room fell silent. Elena collapsed onto the floor, trembling as she cried. Martin stood frozen in place, his fists clenched, his face drained of color. I looked at them, the same 2 people who had been overjoyed when Chloe announced her engagement, the same 2 people who couldn't stop smiling whenever Adrian sent gifts. I said nothing. I picked up my bag and headed for the door. At the entrance, Elena grabbed my arm.
Sylvia, do you know anyone who can help? Please help Chloe.
Mom, if I had been the one who married Adrian, would you be trying this hard to save me? Elena's hand slowly fell away. I turned and left. After Chloe was taken back, everything returned to normal. 3 days later, her social media became active again. A photo of her having afternoon tea in the manor garden. Caption: "The weather is beautiful today." The comments were full of envy. "You are so beautiful. I am so jealous." I logged out. The time had come. My net worth had passed $1 billion. My company employed more than 200 people. We had 30 top-tier creators and an Omega advocacy network that spanned North America. And I held enough evidence to destroy the Blackwoods. Enough to have Victor and Adrian expelled from the pack for life and rejected by every other pack as well. Tax evasion, complete records of the facility where Omegas were abused, and records of Adrian's violence against Chloe. That one was new. The night Chloe ran back to the Hart House, I had photographed her injuries while everyone was distracted. Everything was ready, but I wasn't in a hurry. I was waiting for the right moment. A moment that would bring the entire Blackwood family crashing down. It arrived a week later. Blackwood Consortium announced its annual charity gala in Silverport. At the event, they planned to unveil a $500 million Omega Protection Fund. The irony was great. A family that abused Omegas was launching a fund to protect them. The gala would be attended by more than 500 pack leaders, business elites, and political figures. The entire event would be broadcast live. This was my stage. Are we ready?
Everything is in place, Miss Sylvia.
Good, I said. We'll do it tomorrow. The Blackwood Charity Gala. I wore a red evening gown. In my last life, I was never allowed to wear red during the 3 years I spent in the Blackwood estate. Adrian said it was too bold, not suitable for his Luna. This time, I wore it anyway. The Blackwoods hadn't invited me. I got an invitation through an intermediary and paid $50,000 for it. Worth every penny. The ballroom was lavishly decorated, filled with hundreds of impeccably dressed guests. Adrian and Chloe stood at the center of the room, accepting greetings and compliments from every direction. Adrian wore a black suit, his smile elegant and restrained. Beside him, Chloe wore a high-necked white gown. Her makeup was flawless, her smile perfectly composed. Only I knew what was hidden beneath that high collar. Halfway through the evening, Victor stepped onto the main stage. Under the lights, his white hair looked like a silver crown. He radiated with the authority and benevolence expected of an elder alpha.
Distinguished guests,
He began, his voice steady and powerful.
tonight, the Blackwood family is proud to announce, as part of our commitment to social responsibility,
He never finished the sentence. Every phone in the ballroom buzzed at once. Once, twice, 3 times, the room filled with notification sounds, the unmistakable rhythm of breaking news. Victor frowned and continued.
we will establish the Blackwood Omega Protection Fund.
No one was listening anymore. Every guest had lowered their head to look at their phone. Whispers spread through the room. Then whispers became shock. People turned their screens toward one another. Some gasped. Others stood up and started heading for the exits. Finally, Victor saw it too. His assistant hurried onto the stage and handed him a phone. I looked at his face. In less than a second, it went to deathly pale. That was the moment the entire gala exploded into chaos. Right on schedule, my secretary released the evidence package to every major media outlet, law enforcement agency, and social media platform. Records of tax evasion, security footage, and victim testimony from the Omega Abuse Facility. The original investigation into the Omega student who died during Adrian's university years. A joint public statement signed by 6 victims, and anonymous whistleblower letters from 3 members of the Blackwood Consortium's board. After my company paid $50 million to acquire their shares, they had been more than willing to switch sides when it mattered. Everything detonated at once. Then the ballroom doors opened. It wasn't more guests. It was the PAC Council's enforcement officers. Everything happened quickly after that. Adrian was fitted with specially designed alpha suppression restraints. The moment they pinned him down, his composure finally shattered. The mask of effortless elegance he had worn for years broke apart completely, trying to unleash his aura.
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
The suppression runes built into the restraints locked his power in place.
I'm Adrian Blackwood, Alpha of the Blackwood Pack!
Victor held himself together a little longer. That changed when a second team of officers produced an arrest warrant.
Victor Blackman, you are under arrest for tax evasion, operating an illegal detention facility, and aiding the concealment of serious criminal offenses. You have the right to remain silent.
I stood quietly in the corner of the ballroom, a glass of champagne in my hand. Chloe remained frozen where she stood. She looked as though she had forgotten how to move. There was no fear on her face, or perhaps there had simply been so much fear that she had gone numb. As officers escorted Adrian out, he suddenly turned his head. His gaze swept across the crowd, then stopped on me. For a split second, his pupils contracted. Not because he recognized me as Chloe's sister, but because I was smiling. In a ballroom filled with shock, panic, and confusion, I was the only person standing there calmly. I raised my champagne glass toward him and gave it the slightest toast. His eyes darkened instantly, like a trapped predator, but a second later he was gone. The officers pushed him through the doors. The doors closed behind him. I finished my champagne. The hardest part was over. Over the next week, all of Silverport was talking about the fall of the Blackwoods. Under the council's judgment, Victor and Adrian were officially expelled from the pack. Blackwood stock continued its free fall. No one had expected one of the West Coast's most powerful alpha families to fall from the top overnight. Chloe and Damien were sent back to Hart's house. The rest of the Blackwood family had already fled with whatever valuables they could carry. Few of them were clean anyway. It was my first time seeing Damien up close. He was much taller than most children his age. His face was expressionless, and his gray-blue eyes were filled with nothing but coldness and hostility. He was yanking hard on Elena's hair while she sat there silently. Even at just over 2 years old, the child possessed frightening strength. One look was enough. Chloe was over. This child would grow up just like his father, perhaps even worse. For the first time, Martin and Elena saw the full truth. Chloe sat curled up on the couch, having lost so much weight that she barely looked like herself anymore. Now that the high-necked clothes were gone, the scars could no longer be hidden. Bite marks, bruises, and scars. And around her mark was a ring of permanent scars, torn open and bitten again and again over the years. Elena cried so hard she nearly fainted. Martin was silent for a long time before finally asking,
Sylvia, what do we do now? Adrian won't come after us, will he?
I let out a cold laugh.
Come after you? He can barely save him himself. Mom, I'll tell you the truth. I've been behind everything that's happened to the Black House.
Both of them stared at me.
I've built enough wealth and influence to protect this family from any retaliation. But on one condition.
I met their eyes.
Just stop trying to get your hands on my money.
They nodded frantically. Blackwood Consortium declared bankruptcy. I acquired it for less than 3% of its peak valuation. Overnight, I became the youngest female Omega to control a major business empire in Silverport. Not long afterward, I received a message from an unknown number. I knew immediately who it was. Adrian.
Sylvia, I've remembered my past life too. No wonder my wolf reacted the moment I saw you at the wedding. You were supposed to be my prey all along. Too bad I didn't remember sooner. Things would have been much more interesting. Honestly, you're far more interesting than your sister, and much better suited to being my pet. If we ever meet again, won't you be looking forward to it?
I let out a cold laugh, then I deleted the message. After that, I called my secretary. I forgot to mention one thing.
Yes, Miss Hart?
Keep an eye on Adrian and Victor. I leaned back in my chair, and make sure they get enough wolf bones so they can never enter Silverport. Men like them deserved a fate worse than death. I had planned to deal with them later, but Adrian had handed me the perfect excuse. My secretary understood me perfectly. Every couple of weeks, he sent me updates. The once proud Alpha and his father were now weaker than slaves. They had permanently lost the ability to shift. Adrian's gray-blue eyes had become dull and lifeless. Even the rogues despised them. Old grudges and new ones alike ensured that every encounter ended badly for the fallen Blackwoods. Everything was proceeding exactly according to plan. There was only one unexpected development: my sister and my nephew. When Damien was 3 years old, he locked Chloe inside a room and started a fire. He didn't survive it either. The two of them burned to death together. I mourned them for exactly 1 second.